Okay, I want to take a little bit of time to look at working with images in Illustrator. So if you have an image you want to place in Illustrator, you can do that. You can see right now I'm working with an RGB document. Something you want to keep in mind is that you're using image formats that equal the document that you're working with. So if you're working in print, you'll probably be working in CMYK mode, and you'll be wanting to use images that are also in CMYK mode so that they're all compatible when you go to print things. So I want to make sure that if I'm placing an image in here, it is an RGB image. So to put an image in here, it's called place. So you go to File and you place the image. You choose which image you want to place. I'll just go use this macrophage image that I've rendered out. And you can see right now my document's set up for inches. So if I right click on my rulers, if they're showing, if they're not showing, you just hit Command R. It'll make them show or go away. I'm going to right click or control click if you don't have right click set up. And you can change that to whatever setting you'd like. Inches makes more sense to me, so I'm going to use that. So you can see that my image is actually 10.7 blah blah by 13.8 blah blah inches. My document, if I look at my artboard, is set up to 11 by 8.5. So the image is much bigger than my document. So that gives you an idea for the resolution of your image. I know that this is set up to 150 dpi because I created the image at that size. So you can scale things down, move them around, place them. And something to keep in mind when you're working in Illustrator is that when you place an image, it is not actually part of the Illustrator document. It is what is called linked to the document. So it still exists in the original location, and it's simply linking to that file and showing a representation of it on your Illustrator page. Now it will still print and everything will work just fine, but do realize that it is not part of the document. And what that means is if I were to go into Illustrator or Photoshop right now and open this image, that's on my desktop, there it is. So if I were to come in here and write my name on this and save it. Okay, so I've just gone to save, file save, and then I go back to my Illustrator document. It's going to yell at me and say some files are missing or modified in the links panel. Would you like to update them? Yes. So you can see that's actually brought in that change. So you can dynamically change images and update them, and it will automatically be included in your Illustrator document. I'm going to go back and undo that change because I don't want my name on top of that image. And I'll go ahead and save it again and close that. Again, same thing. Yes. And it's back to the way it was. You may find a time where you want to collect your images and make sure that you don't have any issues with printing and so forth. And it may be important for you to do what's called embedding your image. So rather than have this be linked and be a separate document altogether, and the issues arise when you're sending this file off to someone else, let's say to work on it or to print it for you. If you have all these images as a linked object, you have to make sure that you send those files as well. Otherwise they won't be able to print and you'll get some errors. And that can cause you a big headache. So you'll notice you can, I just got information on this, you can say embed image. And if you say embed image, you're going to get this little icon that appears next to it. And what that's essentially done is now this image is no longer linked. If I go back and make changes to my Photoshop file, so I'll just make a simple line on here and save it. So I've saved that and I've gone back. You see it's no longer giving me that error message. It's no longer warning me that my image has been changed because this image is embedded. It's completely separate from this one now. So I'll go ahead and save that back the way it was. So right now this image is a completely separate and it is part of this file because I've embedded it into this file. Well, that's doing a few things. One thing, it's separating it from the original, so there are no more linked changes. And the second thing is it's enlarging your Illustrator file because it's now including this image as a portion of the file. So just something to be aware of. Okay. So just a couple little guidelines for working with images inside of Illustrator.